Thank you, Jonathan. And I just wanted to say that I'm still learning the technology. So as there were glitches in getting the panelists on, and I don't know if the slides are moving or not, but I guess I can manipulate that as well. So, what we wanted really the focus of this webinar, in addition to introducing the small business recovery team, is really digging in deep to the latest addition to that business resource guide, which, as Mayor McNamara teased, is a loan for microenterprises using our community development block grant dollars. Community development block grants are provided to the city from the federal government through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the city receives an annual allocation, which we use for a variety of purposes, including economic development. But the CARES Act allocated additional dollars specifically in the response to COVID-19. And so the cities will be receiving approximately $1.3 million. And as we looked and talked with community partners and really analyzed where the unmet needs were, we really listened to the businesses who were expressing frustration, not just with the overwhelming demand for the federal programs and the state programs, but with the inability to access them. The inability to meet the underwriting guidelines, or the inability because they didn't have an existing banking relationship and have a priority in that system. And these are business owners who are they're living in Rockford. They're in our neighborhoods. They're working just as hard as everybody else, not just for the success of their businesses and their livelihood, but their employees, their customers, their community. And so, really pleased that this money is coming. That we're not going to be able to meet all of the demand with $1.3 million, but we want to get this money into micro enterprises' hands as quickly as possible so that we can ensure sustainability through this crisis for as many as possible. So an overview of what the program is going to look like. It is a loan program with a 4-year term. That includes 12 months of deferred payments, so no payments over those 12 months. I will note on the bottom of the screen here, we will have quarterly reporting required, because even though you're not going to be making a payment, we still want to keep a pulse on how your business is doing, so that if number one, if there's any other supports that we provide, but number two, just assess the pulse of your business as going through that deferment period. These are going to be 0% interest loans. We want to make these as simple as possible. And we're going to look at the impact that your business had related to COVID, at the lost revenue and at what your actual working capital costs are. But we'll be able to provide up to $15,000 for those working capital costs. And so those working capital costs, that's going to be your rent, payroll, if you're keeping individuals on payroll, utilities, all those types of things. What you're not going to be able to spend it on, you're not going to be able to do a build out or construction. We're not looking to expand businesses at this time. We're looking to sustain them. And so the application process will delve into that a little more. And as I said that, there was something else I wanted to say, but hopefully it comes to me as we keep going on. In terms of the qualifications, understanding that we're going to have capacity for 60 to 70 loans, depending on how much we award. We wanted to make sure that we were tailoring this loan product to those that were being shut out of existing products, whether at the state, local, state, or federal level. Within the guidelines of the Community Development Block Grant Program regulations set by the federal government. And so a business that qualifies as a micro enterprise and has 2 to 5 employees, which includes the owner, does not matter how you're incorporated. It could be a partnership, it could be an LLC. But if you meet those, you meet the first requirement. And then the owner has to meet low to moderate income thresholds. The whole goal of the Community Development Block Grant dollars, with everything we spend them on, is to benefit low to moderate income individuals and access to economic opportunity. And so the owner has to meet those thresholds, and I'll cover what those are in a little bit. The owner has to be a Rockford resident, and the business has to be located in Rockford. Now, if you're in Rockford, or if you don't meet that qualification, you potentially could access a program funded by CDBG through the state called the Downstate Business Stabilization Grant, but you'll want to talk to your municipality about the qualifications for that as they need to apply on your behalf. We have very generous underwriting requirements. We're looking for individuals who didn't meet underwriting requirements of the SBA, so only a 500 credit score is required. You do have to be incorporated prior to the pandemic, so prior to March 15th, 2020, but that doesn't mean that you need to be open. Perhaps you just were getting ready to open and this came and you weren't able to open your doors. You're still in cost, weren't able to bring in revenue. You would still qualify for this program. You're going to have to demonstrate a negative impact related to COVID-19. I don't think that this is going to be a challenge for businesses, but we do want to assess the level that you've been impacted and size the loan toward that impact, so that if you aren't at the $15,000 level of impact to sustain you through this, we're able to redirect some dollars to additional loans to help more businesses. You also, again, understanding that we're trying to reach businesses that haven't had other resources. We're not going to, businesses that have been able to receive a loan or a grant through another mechanism will not qualify for this one. You can't have been in arrears on your property taxes or other city taxes as appropriate to your business prior to March 15th. You have to meet the eligibility of the CDBG program and be eligible to receive federal awards. And one way you prove that is obtaining a DUNS number and also registering for SAM.gov. And you can find out how to get a DUNS number or register for SAM.gov on the business resource guide that Jonathan referred to that's located on the City of Rockford's COVID-19 webpage. This is an illustration of what the income limits are. I will stress this is a point in time, and HUD changes these regularly, and we are anticipating that HUD will provide us further guidance on the application of the specific CV money. And so even if you don't meet what's shown on the screen here, and if you're close, or check out the application when it becomes available, because we'll have the point in time, the actual ones on that application. But a couple points to note, this is based on your household size. So all income from adults located within your household are counted and need to fall under the threshold at the time of application. You will show this with a 2019 tax return, as well as an affidavit attesting to that all income is being accounted. That will be needed for the application. That's a self-certification process. As we process the loan, we'll come back to you and request documentation to support that. SAM.gov, I referred to it earlier. If you are at all interested or think you're going to apply for this loan, register for SAM.gov today. It is free. The DUNS number is free as well. However, I cannot distribute money until your registration has been processed, and processing can take up to 2 weeks. And so understanding that it's going to take us some time to process the loans, I don't want to be ready to award a business funds and then have to wait another 2 weeks because they didn't register for SAM.gov. So please do this now. It's free, does not take a lot of your time. It's just the processing on the federal government side that takes up to the 2 weeks. And to give you a sense of our timeline here, we're spending this week doing webinars and sending emails and flyers and doing marketing. We want to make sure that all businesses who are going to qualify for this to know that it's available, understand what the qualifications are, ask questions to determine whether it's the right choice for their business. And we want it set up so that it's not a race to the first one to do an application. We want applications to be good applications, complete applications to assist us in the processing of them. So we're going to have an application period. We anticipate this starting Monday, May 11th, and ending at the end of the workday on Thursday, May 14th. I say anticipate because we're using a software program as a portal for the application, and we're currently customizing that to the City of Rockford and qualifications. And so certainly anticipate, but we'll be messaging out if there is a delay in that. The application link will be on our website. It'll redirect you to a portal where you will answer the questions of qualifications and upload appropriate documents. All successfully, the complete applications that self-certify as meeting the qualifications will then be determined by random lottery, electronic lottery on Friday, May 15th. And so we anticipate by the end of next week to be able to inform the 70 businesses that we anticipate being able to award that we will review their documents and confirm eligibility. We'll also let several other businesses, 20 other businesses know that while they're not in that 70, they're queued up in case it's been documented that some of those 70 do not actually qualify. And then we'll inform the rest that at this time, there's no funding opportunity. However, we do anticipate additional CDBG dollars from the CARES Act. We just, in the future, we just don't know what rules HUD is going to place on those dollars, the formula that they're going to be distributed to entitlement communities like Rockford, and when we receive those, what other needs we may have related to the response in COVID-19. The week after next, starting May 18th, we'll do that income qualification. My staff will be in contact with businesses selected for appropriate documents and ensuring that they meet those income thresholds. And then Jonathan and I will, once that's determined, Jonathan and I will work with businesses to do that COVID-19 impact underwriting to determine the size of the loan. And then we'll be able to sign a loan document and distribute those funds.